Greetings and welcome to my farm. So Mother Nature's recently decided to throw a curveball on us, and we've been receiving quite a very heavy downpour. And so in today's video, I want us to look at the impact that the heavy rains that we've been receiving in the last couple of weeks, the impact that I've had on this patch here. This patch here, I have some cabbages and tomatoes. So we want to see how the crops are holding up after the heavy downpour that we've been receiving. Well, as you can see, things haven't been that good at the farm lately. Of course, we've just been receiving some heavy rains that have been coming through. And let's say the rains haven't really been gentle. They've been quite heavy. But for that reason, it has really affected our crops. As you can see, we also have here the raised beds have been washed out. See? And looking at some of the crops, especially the tomatoes, at least for the cabbages seems to be holding up, but we can see some signs of bacterial infections. This is caused maybe by, the heavy rainfall, the heavy watering. But for the tomatoes, you can see that they've been heavily affected, despite even the erosion of the soil from the beds being eroded. You can see that, some of the tomatoes are even drying up. So like, for example, over here, you can see that the tomato plants are showing signs of stress. Some leaves are yellowing. There's also evidence of disease. You can see evidence of a blight. You also got some wilting on some of the tomatoes. So definitely you need to work on that. Of course, with the heavy rains, it was really difficult to come out here and work on the farm. So of course there was a period where the weeds really took over, because you could really not come out here to do the weeding. Of course, for various reasons, because it was raining, and of course, when you do the weeding when the soil is too soggy, you risk you may risk getting compaction, the soil compaction. So you really want to work when the soil is when the water has drained off. But at least finally I've been able to get a few chances here and there, and at least I've been able to clear the weeds, just a few here and there. But there's nothing to worry about. So we are not going to give up on these crops. I'm definitely going. That's what you're going to be working on, and ensure that we bring these crops back on track, and they'll be able to thrive and come up with a good production. Well, in as much as these raised beds have been slightly washed out, one of the main reasons that these raised beds have been able to hold up a little better is because we try to practice as much as little tillage as possible. So once we harvested the previous crop that was here, we don't do any tillage. So as you may notice, you still have the roots for the previous crop that was there, and with that helps to hold the soil together. And with time also, as the roots decompose, they continue adding organic matter to the soil. And what that organic matter does to the soil, with addition to the compost that we add while planting the crops, see, that organic matter helps in making the soil more, allows for more, what do you call it? It allows the soil to have more drainage. So the soil is able to drain more water. So there's little chances of erosion. So with that, both combination of keeping the soil less tillage, the microorganisms in the soil, the compost, and the roots of the previous crops at least are trying to hold the soil together. And with that, the raised beds were able to hold up even with the heavy rains, so they are not washed away completely. Of course, there are some areas that have been washed off, and that we're going to be reforming the bed. And after the weeding, we're going to do some top up with an additional compost, and probably some foliar fertilizer, to help with the crop, cope with the stress occasioned by the heavy rains. And of course, the nutrition, of course. With the heavy rains, of course, the nutrients have been leached probably. So you need to boost the nutrients and, the plant health as well, so that they can come back and, to bring back the crop so that it can be healthy, that you can get at the end, to have a productive crop. We also have signs of disease on these crops. Of course, most of these diseases, the fungal diseases and bacterial diseases, the hosts, especially during when the leaves are wet, they become a good host for the fungal and the bacterial diseases to thrive. So, like for example, on these cabbages, you can see the signs of a bacterial infection, black rot. Yeah, that's on the initial stages. So this one, we can be able to, try and stop the spread. What you'll do now, probably this is going to do a copper fertilizer. What that does, it does not cure. What it will do, it will slow, or stop and slow down the process, the spread of the bacterial disease. In addition to that, you can either do a top dress with a fertilizer rich in calcium, so that strengthens the crop and makes it more resistant to the disease. You can either do that from a fertilizer or as a foliar spray, enrich it with calcium, that strengthen the crop so that it doesn't easily affected by the bacterial disease. And when you do the copper, again, now to slow down the growth of the bacterial disease. For the tomatoes, on the other end, I've seen the signs of blight and those that have dried off. So the ones that have dried off, luckily there are some seedlings that were left behind. I'll be replacing that. Then as well also get a solution for the blight. Can probably even do even the copper do get a solution for a fungicide, to stop, either a preventative and a curative to stop the blight. And at the same time, for all the crops, I'll be doing a seaweed fertilizer that will help with cope with like the biostimulant that will help with the stress of the crop that has undergone due to the heavy rainfall. And with that, hopefully, the crop will be able to come back and, So with the tomatoes now, because of the heavy rains, I don't want any of the leaves to be touching the ground. So I'll also be trimming off any of the infected leaves that are below there. In addition to that, I'll also be starting with the staking early enough, so to ensure that the crops are supported and they don't, once now the foliage grows, nothing touches the ground. So because when they get that splash from the soil, that's where I easily get the spread of fungal infections, is accelerated. So I'll be pruning off all the affected leaves and all the leaves that are below that now, and ensure that at least I prevent any further spread of the disease. And all the crops that are wilted, I'll be replacing them. I'll be replacing them with other new seedlings. So remember, even the best farmers face challenges here and there. But the best thing is just to assess the damage, give the crops the TLC that they require, take care of them, and bring them back to the crops will be able to thrive back. So these farm challenges are always there. So as a farmer, you should always be expecting some of these challenges, the heavy rains, disease, pests, and you should be able to assess the damage, counter that, and you'll have definitely your crops will be able to come back and they'll thrive. They'll be getting good harvests. So that's the journey a farmer has to go through. So with that, I think that's more like it. Thank you for watching. Till the next one, guys. Happy farming.